अगर ये हो जाएगा तो फंडिंग मिल जाएगी, 3 महीने में ये करके दिखा दो।
ये तो बहुत आसान है, इतना क्यों चार्ज कर रहे हो आप? ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है।
So, just like it's just something is off, right? As in, you went through phases that the agency did great work, where the agency did average work, where the agency did shit work as well. But the first response was solve that relationship. It was not कि एजेंसी बदल दी।
एफएमसीजी का ट्रेडिशनल ग्रोथ क्या रहा है? 10 से 15%। बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है तो 15%, खराब साल है तो 5%, एवरेज 10%।
मतलब one bad campaign will not
it will
massively mess you.
drop your business for certain time. इधर क्या होगा? 3 महीने में दुकान ठप। Roros or classic example wanted to meet the team. They say the simple question was, founders are always impressive. I know you guys will not be always available. Yes, you will say that you will be available and accessible limited. What is the team I'm gonna work with?
By the way, that was an excellent conversation. Yes, that conversation was really good.
Welcome to yet another episode of 367 Conversations Later. By the way, fun fact, anecdotal data, but average life of a D2C brand and an agency, performance marketing agency, the life of a relationship is anywhere between 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
Now, not a very ideal place to be in. So, what should happen? Expectations, both from, as in what expectations should the brand come with? What should a good agency be delivering, and what should a brand bring to the table so that this relationship grows, right? That's what we are going to talk about. And interestingly, the three of us, while we run an agency, we've also been on the client side. Which all agencies have you worked with?
Ogilvy mostly, and 3M.
Ogilvy and?
Which was this? Group M, sorry.
Group M. Ogilvy Group M.
Lolintas, Interactive Avenues, Group M.
And Group M. Okay, so Mindshare, Group M, JWT. So we've seen both sides of the spectrum, right? As
Right.
we've been clients,
Yep.
and we run an agency. So I think this is a very unique perspective that we can kind of bring to the table. Okay. Now, yeah. So first things first, right? When we get a brand, and we shall start with you because I think the initial hand holding for when we onboard a brand happens with you, right? And what have been your observations over the last 5 years in terms of just relationships which have kind of lasted? And for us, right, as in we'll talk through our experiences, and relationships which have not, right? And I think in all honesty and candor, we should also talk about things which we got wrong, right? So both sides, as in, so yeah, go on, start.
Okay, I think one of the first thing that comes to mind is how clear are founders in terms of what they are expecting from us.
Okay.
And what their brand is, what is the consumer they are looking at. They have a fair clarity. Ideally, someone who has done a bit before coming to us. If it's a very early stage, there are people who are seeking clarity. So those are still open-ended.
Yeah.
But if fair bit of clarity and some runway to the business.
Runway meaning in terms of capital available.
Capital plus they've done like at least 5-6 months already into the business.
Okay.
And experienced something in terms of working with an agency, etc.
So break this down, like detail this a little bit because this is important, right? As in, what do you mean by some sense on brand, some sense of consumer? What are you exactly expecting? Suppose I as a brand came to you.
Yep.
What do you want me to answer so that you can do a great job with what you do?
Okay. So for the first question I usually ask a founder is, right? So there are X many brands available in this category.
Yeah.
Why do you think your brand should win with the consumers having so many choices?
So differentiation.
Yeah.
Product level, brand level differentiation, some sense around how that stacks up in terms of functional benefits, emotional benefits, self-expressive benefits.
Correct. That is one.
Got it.
Two, the expectation is, so when the question is asked, what are you looking in the next 3 to 6 months? What are your budgets? What are you committed to, right? Good founders will give you some commitments. Okay, I have an outline of 6 months. My expectations are between this range. They've done some homework.
Yeah.
Some founders will come, budget is unlimited. जितना चाहिए है, आप सेल ले आओ, मैं इतने पैसे डाल दूंगा. That is like a clear no-go.
Yeah.
So those things bring you clarity.
As long as ROAS is good, I can put infinite amount of money.
Yes. But why the ROAS will be good?
Yeah.
That to you guys have to tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So trust in the product in some sense, trust in brand,
As in, they should be confident more than trust confidence.
They should know what they're trying to do.
Okay.
And how challenging it can be.
What else should they bring to the table? What else? As in if...
Sometimes it's the way of working also, right? When you talk to them, what happened with the previous agency, if there is a case, they'll have quite clear answers, right? It will not be कि number नहीं बढ़ रहा था, right? It can't be that. They'll ask you the right questions, right? कि what do you think will work? Why do you think? How will you approach this? Their expectations will be much more clearer. So those are the things that give you green flags in terms of how the other side is thinking.
No, I think one of the things, right, as in the initial discovery conversations that I do with brands, if somebody sitting across the table is telling me that in the last 12 months, they have gone through 3 or more agencies, it's a massive red flag for me. Right? Because one agency can be bad.
Right.
One agency can be underperforming. 2 can be underperforming. But it's very, very, very unlikely that over a period of 12 months, if you've gone through 3 agencies, it's just been the agency's fault, right? There's something structurally wrong with the kind of brand, product, pricing. Something is wrong outside of what the agency is bringing to the table. Because this is like just sheer bad luck, right? As in the probability of fighting 3 shit agencies back to back is very minimal, right?
So sometimes the right answer they gave is, the agency was good. They helped us come to this level. I think now they're struggling to scale it, which could be their size or structure or the capability. And I'm looking at someone who can make me
just bandwidth that they can provide for the account, right?
Or whatever.
Have that bandwidth.
A to B, I have done. I'm happy with them. No issues, no complaints. Now B to C, I'm looking for someone. Can you bring that to me?
So I'll just try to look at the problem through a different lens. I think there are 3 stages in our engagement with clients. The first is the pitching stage. The second one is the onboarding stage. And then comes the long relationship, right? These are the places where agency teams have to set the right expectations with the client. And typically what we have seen is in the pitching stage, the client is mightily impressed with the work of the agency. Then comes the onboarding stage where they have the patience. But when the team actually starts working on the account, they see there's a lot of gap probably in the capabilities initially or in the way of working or something that was sold earlier.
So Sumit, I'll just pause you once at the pitching stage, okay? And this is a real problem, right? And at times we also go through this problem because see what happens is in agencies our size, right? Like 30 to 50 members, 50 to 100 members. For at some stage, senior leadership or the founding team gets involved in the pitching, right? Now, the kind of conversation that happens at the pitch through a founding member versus the amount of time the founding member spends front-ending with the brand, right? There is that mismatch. So essentially, if I am a brand, I'm talking to you, right? My expectation is that you will be part of all the conversations. If I don't set that right, that's saying, hey, listen, I'm available, but I have other things to do and I will, let's say, attend structured conversations once a month. But you can pick up the phone and talk to me anytime. And at the back end, I know what's going on, right? As in, while I'm not in the call, I know. But this is a real mismatch, right? And I think a lot of times, agencies also, I suspect, tend to say that, don't worry, I'm going to be there, right? So at the pitching stage, that gap starts.
I think somewhere we have to draw the line where you would be finding what kind of resources. But beyond that as well, right? A lot of times we've seen that the process itself has not been laid out. You've got the best of the people who are there initially and then the handover happens. And you will see that within agencies, teams changes. There's obviously a lot of churn. A lot of drop-offs happen when you have team members changing. And that's one of the friction points that I've come across with clients saying that this was a guy who was doing well. In fact, there was a very recent pitch. The client had come to us because one of the team members had moved from there to our team. And they said this person who was right now with us was doing a fabulous job there in that old agency. And then he moved out, someone else came in. And because of that change, the business obviously lost the momentum that they had. And they wanted to come back to this team member of ours. So sometimes it is also the churn that happens. And it's not the churn, typically it's the handover or the process So when the agencies don't lay out the processes, clients expect a certain amount of predictability in a day-to-day, week-to-week, one-to-one thing in the way you work. If that suddenly changes, I think that is where the brand team would feel that something is off. So going back to the point that I was mentioning, that expectation setting has to happen at every single stage. It starts right on day one, or rather, before the brand gets onboarded. Every single stage you have to set the right expectation. And once that happens, I think relationship becomes smoother.
I think it's a slightly different game, and I give this example to a lot of my team members, okay? You start some relationship, any relationship, you can talk about your personal relationship, professional relationship, anything. It starts with a certain apprehension. Sure. You are not sure what's going to happen. You have to earn the trust. Trust is not like, you trust me, I'll say. It is earned. And I give this example when you were a child, right? Your parents, you said, I'm going out with my friends, or I'm going to study to this tuition. They'll trust you. They're your family, they're closest. 3-4 times they'll never ask. If somehow they come to know, instead of going to a tuition, you were hanging out playing with your friends, you are losing your trust. They'll give you chances, 2-3 chances. But on the other side, let's take his example, and he went every time and he said, I will go and play or study, then he's studying. 6 times, 7 times, whatever he says, I'm going here, there, they'll not even question because they trust that thing. So
it's interesting, right? So he started off with saying that he has set the expectations. Right? You are saying live up to the expectation. It's essentially that, right? As if I'm saying that, hey, I'm going to meet you every Monday at 12 o'clock, then show up at 12.
Yes.
And I'm sure cancellations happen, right? And everybody, something once in a while is okay, but especially in the initial few days, like go out of the way and ensure that 12 o'clock happens.
You are dating a person, you will be more proactive when you are in the initial stage. Once it's gone, you're there.
But again, circling back, right, to the first thing about setting up the expectations, I think a lot of times I feel that the role of the performance marketing agency, right, and again I'm coming back to, because I have the maximum number of first time conversations among the three of us, the role of the performance marketing agency is largely not clear. Okay. The performance marketing, so essentially, and let's come back from the mainline world, right? Like, so the way we kind of grew up, the kind of marketing we learned, the custodian of the brand was the brand team. Right? The company.
Correct.
Okay. So brand positioning, consumer insight, all of that. What the RTBs are, what the product is, what the formulations are, all of that was owned by the brand team. Okay. Then there was the creative agency who would own the translation of the brand promise in communication, right? So big creative idea, creative executions, etc., etc. Then there was a media team, right, which would kind of then take this creative idea and give you the best possible distribution. Right? This was the lay of the land. Now, what has fundamentally happened is that with early stage founders, obviously the first agency, so the brand custodianship should exist, but is very loosely defined. Right? It's not as robust because obviously there's not enough research and all that doesn't happen. Right?
And they're still figuring it out.
There is nobody who's anchoring the creative. Right? That creative agency does not exist. So the performance marketing agency is effectively expected to straddle the world of the brand, the creative, and then do the performance marketing as well, which is media buying and creative, right? Now, and I'll ask this independently from both of you, right? Now, what is the ideal brief for a .com performance marketing, D2C performance marketing? What do you need? Right? Which translates into best output. And similarly, let's take marketplaces as an example, right? Because like my conversations, half the time, I'm trying to solve for brand with them. Right? I'm like, nahi, ye positioning thoda sa off lag raha hai. Competition to ye bana raha hai, aapka product kya hai? Right? As in, I'm asking those fundamental questions. And
that is also happening because we come from that background, right? Not every agency will be able to give that perspective also. So, and that's probably why 3 of us sitting together are at a place where we are being able to add that value, right?
So coming back, what is the ideal brief? As in, what do you need? Like pinpointed, saying that, okay, If this is given to me, I'm good to go.
Okay. So I know the product. Landing page should be clear in terms of what you as a team, the founder or the brand wants to say in that product.
Okay.
Right? What is, like we say, clear differentiation? Why am I better than the rest? Why should a consumer choose me over other available?
Yeah.
And why should you trust me? Reason to believe.
Yeah.
Right? These 3-4 questions should be clearly answered in that landing page.
So high converting landing page, which essentially follows the structure of top 3 benefits, reasons to believe, some sort of social proof,
Payoff.
supporting evidence, etc., etc. That should be the ideal structure.
Yeah. So now I know this is where I'm gonna bring the people.
And you need to, as a performance marketing agency, have conviction
Yeah.
that this will get to conversion. Okay. So first problem, check.
Second, I need to understand the clear key message that should be part of the communication.
So give an example of what is a clear key message. Any brand, past, present, future.
Okay. Sugar watchers, low GI atta. Okay. It will manage your sugar spikes and help you control sugar better than any other atta or rice.
Okay, perfect.
Now,
So one line message, manage sugar spikes and better than any other.
replace this with that. That's it.
Perfect.
Right?
Sensodyne, simple example.
Yeah.
If you have sensitivity in your teeth, this is the toothpaste for you.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, that key message goes to the creative team we have. Right?
Yeah.
For me, that creative team and the brand or whatever the brand owners have to come together and say, okay, this is a good, clear message communication that is going through.
Okay. So let's say somebody comes to us with a portfolio of 10 products.
Yeah.
What I need is some sort of top level, even if it is very basic, lay of the brand.
Yeah.
Some understanding of what tone of voice works for you, even if it is references, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And then like a product card for each of the products, which lays out a single-minded proposition
Yes.
and support it with saying that this is why our proposition works. Right? That's a good start.
That's a good start for me.
That's a good start.
Now my job is to run those creatives,
Yeah.
bring those people to landing page, right?
Got it.
And give you insights in terms of where the funnel is breaking, if people are dropping off, what's converting, what's not converting. That is easy to do.
So, okay, and before I come to you, so another thing which I kind of observe is a lot of founders spend a lot of time in brand visual language design.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know why that happens. I think one of the reasons is because packaging needs to be developed. So they'll find an agency who will do logo, who will do VIL, etc., etc. And in their heads, if I have a VIL, I'm sorted on brand. Okay, the next journey to comms, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right, and that becomes the major roadblock because that has not happened only, right? As in, it's just not gone there.
Yeah. So again, older years,
Yeah.
you want to spend crores of rupees behind your media.
Yeah.
You will spend crores of rupees to create that one single asset that's going to run for 1 or 2 years per brand. So there's a huge investment going behind that. So there is much more rigor in that entire process of coming to this.
So let's say 50 crore is a media budget.
Yeah.
3 crores is cost of film production. You are very okay to spend 50, 60, 70, 80 lakhs
Yeah.
to test out everything before you put the 3 crores. And definitely before you put the 50.
And even your visual language and all
Yeah.
product, everything, you'll do research and come to something. So there's a 6 to 8 month rigor that has already gone before you actually go live with any product.
Yeah.
With D2C, that is not the case, right? You have a 10 lakh budget, you are starting off with like 2 lakh a month or something.
Yeah.
And you are testing PMF. So come with something simple packaging,
Yeah.
which clearly differentiates. There is no brand identity, right?
Nobody knows your brand. Your brand doesn't exist.
It will evolve, right?
Yeah.
Today you will say A, you will say in a tone B,
Yeah.
he will say X in tone Y. You don't know which will work.
Yeah.
So you are just testing waters out there. So be open. Visual identity, brand identity, these are things that can come later.
Evolve. Yeah.
But शुरू में I want धंधा यार, order लेके आओ.
So
Customer बोल क्या रहा है?
Yeah. The test is actually the product promise.
Yeah.
Whether there is demand for that product promise.
Yes.
It's not your packaging. All of that is not going to kind of win. But so we both understand, like all of us understand that the principles are largely the same, right? Is there a nuance on Amazon which is beyond this or different from this?
I'll just add a point before I go to Amazon. I think the point that you mentioned that brands invest a lot of time and money on VIL, but the why should someone buy me gets missing. And I think it goes back to the point that we were saying earlier was that maybe the founders are not entirely aware of what all things need to be done at different stages. So while a lot of effort goes into how the brand looks, and probably it is because we are all on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Anything that looks good will sell is the thinking.
Yeah.
And people are skipping the part, why should I buy? So
Yeah.
they've come to the stage, why should I look good? Because everyone is looking on Instagram, but why should I buy you? That needs to be cracked. So maybe that is something that is worth thinking
So
over.
it's just coming back to product promise, right? Differentiation
Absolutely.
becomes the key. Now, a follow-up to this is that, so let's be real, right? As in any agency, however good, including us, there have been situations in the past where we have also goofed up.
Yes.
Okay? Where potential, and with the best of intent, potentially at that point in time, the team was under pressure, we were under resourced, resource quality, etc., multiple situations.
Yeah.
If I'm a founder, what are the 3-4 things I should be checking with my agency team to ensure that I'm getting into a good relationship? As in, what is my checklist?
Okay. So one, I'll assess your capability in terms of the kinds of business you have handled.
Okay, so you're saying kind of business meaning scale and categories.
Scale, categories, if you have experience in the category, how you...
So this is an interesting question, and I want both of you to answer this. Bo and me were debating this, right? And in the other podcast,
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, you would want someone who's not worked in the category and bring new perspective.
his take, and for you, his take was that from a creative standpoint, I want somebody who has no category bias.
Right.
Right? Get some fresh thinking in. My take was that institutional knowledge really matters. Okay.
Yes.
Now, creative is a separate conversation, but this is a similar question, right? How important is it for an agency to have worked within your category? Is it, or is there a better principle around this?
At the end of the day, तुमने क्या किया वो मैटर करता है. अगर तुमने किसी कैटेगरी में सक्सेस की है तो मेरा ट्रस्ट बढ़ जाता है.
सही, मेरी कैटेगरी कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है?
हाँ हाँ, तो मैं फाउंडर हूँ.
हाँ.
मैं तुम्हारे पास एज एन एजेंसी आई हैव कम.
Yeah.
If you tell me success within the category that I operate in, or you have an aspirational brand that I want to be,
Yeah.
I'll
I agree.
Prefer you.
It's an easier sell. I agree.
Huh.
No, I'm saying, is that a good check for the founder in your experience? I know that is how it works, right? It's like, so for example, if I go and say that I've worked with these 5 BPC brands, right? The 6th brand is like, they feel reassured,
yeah,
right? And initially, right, as in our first anchor client was Vadam,
yes,
and a lot of the initial BD conversations, oh, you work with Vadam, so
Yeah.
it became easier, right?
yeah.
But I'm saying, is that a good check? As in, should founders be worried about that?
It is one of the checks. It's not a necessary
Not
check. That doesn't change because media buying as a definition doesn't change.
Okay.
Creative capability, you want to check if
Yeah.
you have done creative work in that. For example, skincare, you'll need extensive UGCs in that zone.
Yeah.
Are you capable to do that?
Perfect.
You have to demonstrate that,
Okay.
even if you're not handling a brand.
Understood. And same in marketplace, category experience matters.
I don't think so it matters as much. But to the point that you were mentioning, you might do all the checks. Like in a relationship, you might still end up with the wrong person. So some of the things that you can do, like
so you're trying to increase probability, right?
what I'm trying to do here is break the problem into two. One is the capability part. Have you done it in the past? Which is what the question that you mentioned, right? On Amazon, I think the requirement that you should have worked on this particular category to understand that nuance is less.
Yeah.
I think the principles and ways of working matters much more. And
Got it.
the problem for me is means and ends. Means is the way of working, and end is the result do you deliver.
Okay.
A founder would be happy if you achieve the result irrespective of the way of working. But I think a lot of time, your way of working takes you far. Results is not in your control.
So just understand this, right? As in the question, the problem is, I'm a founder, I'm talking to 3 agencies. Okay. Help me with a quick checklist of 5 things.
Right.
So one is category experience. What else?
What is it? The team that you're going to put in?
Okay.
How many people you're going to?
Should I meet the team?
Not necessarily the team.
I should meet the team.
Roro Sauce, classic example, wanted to meet the team. They say the simple question was, founders are always impressive. I know you guys will not be always available. Yes, you will say that you will be available and accessible limited. what is the team I'm going to work with.
By the way, that was an excellent conversation.
Yes.
That conversation was really good. Okay, so meet the team.
So meeting the team is good. I think the availability of the team is something, because one of our clients who we had worked in the past, I think there was a mismatch in the way they were expecting us to be available 24/7.
So should I be asking, or should I be saying that
Understand? Yeah, absolutely. Setting the expectation in the beginning that I want an agency that works 7 days a week. We'll say no, obviously,
Fair.
right?
Okay.
So that is one.
Expectation setting around availability of team. Anything
So
else?
the senior resources, have you put them on the account? Are they available or not? What are the typical things that you do? How many times, in the case of Amazon, how many times do you do optimization? What are the general principles that you have?
No, but I don't know. No? I don't understand all this.
I think not the specifics or nuances of the optimization, but how frequently do go and check the account.
So I should broadly
Those
understand
kind of
their
things.
way of operating.
Yeah, that I think is what
I
we would
will
want.
go against this. As a founder, I'll say,
I don't
do you
need to
know your job?
I don't need to know.
I'll do this. My focus is product, brand, or whatever, getting the business delivery, investments, etc., etc. Can I trust you with these things?
So Vishal, what I think what where
I
this
think
coming
I
from
know
is
it's-
that the detailing is a way to build trust, right?
I think this is if in an ideal world what you're saying, if it worked, no, I mean we won't have this breakoffs between clients and agency. I'll do my job, you do your job,
Yeah.
right? But there's always this friction because the founder at the back of their mind has something like, I might be doing a great job with optimization, but I do it every 15 days. Someone else might have learned that optimizing your account every day is important.
Fair.
So set the expectations, and then if you feel that your way of working is exactly opposite of that, either you convince the client to your way of working, or he says, boss, we can't start this journey.
Yeah. Okay, so detailing of work, understand that. So we are saying, so recapping, number one, category experience. Number two, seniority of team, deployment of team, meeting the team, and then we are saying, understand detailing of work. Anything else? Any other checkpoints for founders?
I think the budget that you've worked with is important.
So that experience category.
Experience budgets. I think overcommitment should become a red flag. If in the first few calls,
Yeah.
if the agency is coming back and telling you, we'll be able to deliver your number, we'll exceed your number, etc., that overcommitment.
So that good question is, what do you expect from the business in the next 3 months?
Yeah.
To filter.
But agencies tend to do that, right? As an agencies also in their pitching processes tend to say that, no worry, we will guarantee you that. we'll get
That's what I'm
finance
saying.
from
So the founder's question is this, and then decide on that.
But how would a founder know that an agency is overcommitting? And there could be different ranges of overcommitment, right?
So I'm saying if somebody is overcommitting, right? And overcommitting meaning if somebody is giving even a firm commitment, right? If let's say,
True.
when I have this conversation, right? In a category where we have experience, my answer to the question is, with brands, the range, okay, and let's talk ROAS because that's the most often asked question. The range of ROAS in this category for a brand which is, let's say, less than a year old is 1.5 to 2.5, hypothetically. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that you will reach 1.5 because to reach 1.5, these are the things that are required.
Absolutely.
And the brands which reach 2.5, they do these.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just performance, it's everything coming
It's
together.
if
Your
and
social
then.
has to fire, everything has to fire, product has to fire, there should be some word of mouth, right? So all of that has to come together. So, but versus an agency founder who goes and says, ki, "Arey, don't worry, 3x ROAS to we'll underwrite." That in my head is a red flag. Overcommitment like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, flipping the question. If you are in a call with brands, what brands would you not work with?
I think someone who starts saying that I want to achieve a certain number, which is mind-boggling. Just the way you are talking about flipping. Just flipping. If you flip the question, I'll flip the situation. Just like the agency overcommits. If the client comes up with, okay, I will give you X lakh rupees, but I want you to deliver this number. Recently, we had a client who had asked us that in 1 year, we want to achieve a 10 CR number from a 0-1. Right? That's one.
No, not 1 year, 6 months.
In 6 months, okay.
0 to 10 crores in 6 months.
Yeah, that kind of client you would want to stay away from.
Okay, so unrealistic expectations. Anything else?
अगर ये हो जाएगा तो फंडिंग मिल जाएगी 3 महीने में ये करके दिखा दो मुझे मतलब then I want to see the number, show me what's the data or whatever, but I don't know मतलब that's a question mark in
Again,
me.
unrealistic expectations.
ये तो बहुत आसान है, इतना क्यों चार्ज कर रहे हो आप, ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है.
हाँ तो फिर आप ही कर लो.
हाँ.
I tend to go a lot with the attitude, right? As in, and we said,
हाँ, my checks are कि मतलब how do you operate?
yeah,
मतलब how you will nitpick on everything if you get into everything, then you better do it yourself. You just need someone to execute what you want.
yeah. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do they need a strategic partner or do they need an execution partner?
Yes.
Right, that clarity. And we don't want to be execution partners. You can find other people. who
And there
happy.
are people in the market who will
So
do what you
for
say.
us, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally quality of people. As in, I don't want to work with assholes. I'm very clear about it.
Hmm.
Right? And the problem is not just me, right? My entire team has to deal with those people.
Huh.
And in situations where there is conflict because of personality type on the other side,
Yeah.
it doesn't only affect that account, it affects the entire
Impacts
entire
my
pod.
team.
Yeah.
Correct. So how do you identify the assholes? They don't come with a label.
Yeah, in the first 10-15 minutes of conversation, I have a very clear judgment of whether this is an asshole or not an asshole.
You're an asshole detector.
I might be wrong. It might turn out.
He's AD, asshole detector.
Yeah, so it might come to a place where I misjudge the person. Very rarely that it happens that I think this guy is okay, but turns out to be an asshole later on. That has also happened, by the way, right? But
I think that's a great judgment to have.
But for me, that vibe is important, yeah, because my team has to deal with these guys every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's just like a
हाँ, so you can say it's vibe match कर रहा है कि नहीं.
irritating person, or just like it's just something is off, right? As in, like people who are suspicious, who will constantly mistrust.
Yeah.
कि आपने काम किया नहीं था, अच्छा इसमें इतने 2 घंटे लगते हैं, 1 घंटा लगता है. Like वो होता है ना, people who are constantly
Panel खोल के दिखा दो.
Nitpickers. Yeah.
नहीं, nitpicking is different from suspicion. Suspicion is doubting my integrity. If I'm telling you I've done something, don't doubt it. Right? Nitpicking is you questioning my detail. I'm okay with that. Right? That is not asshole behavior. That is just attention to detail. Right? That's fine. But suspicion, so ये सब ना, that because the kids have to deal with them every day. So you don't want that situation, na?
हाँ, so मतलब then it comes to the person who is willing to listen.
Openness to listen.
Right? Look at that.
The suspicion part is anyways going to be probably the word suspicion is a bit too strong, right? Everyone is wary in the first few weeks, months of relationship. So maybe it's an extreme end of wariness. But what is it that the agencies can do? And we talked about it a little bit. Agencies also have a role to play to bring down
So that
the suspicion.
What I'm talking about, right? जैसे ये कप रखा है ना, और मैं विषय से पूछूं क्या है इसमें, चाय है, तो मैं उठा के पी लूं, right? Versus me checking कि अच्छा चाय ही है ना, कुछ और तो नहीं दिया. Though that kind of personalities and profiles.
The point that he mentioned, you do it 3 or 4 times, and every time if it is tea, then you will stop checking it out. Why would you not?
Yeah.
But when we are speaking to founders, we also need to get the context, which we try to, right?
Yeah.
If he or she has come with an experience, a bad experience in the previous agency relations,
Correct.
then you know that this person is bound to be like this for some time.
Yeah.
You have to behave differently. But if that is not the case, and in the conversation you hear, okay, I'll leave it to you guys. There are people who will say, I'll leave it to you guys, and then behave like assholes.
Yeah.
So that can also happen.
Absolutely.
So those are like, when you start, you know what will happen. But yeah, before, I think
Yeah, but see,
context is important.
Context is important, plus also I think the starting point, right? Like all relationships, right? If you get into a serious, meaningful relationship with somebody,
Yeah.
you're going with the intent that this is a long-term relationship.
Yes.
Now, I think for a lot of founders, the first response to business not scaling or brand not scaling is agency बदल लो. ठीक है?
In the
In the
Startup,
D2C, early
D2C
stage
world.
D2C ecosystem.
yes.
Okay. Which, and again, I'm not saying this as a D2C founder because obviously this is going to benefit our revenue, agency founder, but generally from a brand founder's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Institutional knowledge with an agency matters. Like, can you even imagine the conversation and the time that decision took to change your creative agency for a mainline brand? It was years,
Yeah.
right? And you went through phases where the agency did great work, where the agency did average work, where the agency did shit work as well, right?
Yeah.
But the first response was solve that relationship. It was not keep agency बदल लो.
But I agree बट उस टाइम धंधे में इम्पैक्ट भी नहीं इतना होता था. They were established brands, most of things you've worked with. There's a certain run rate they are operating at. FMCG का ट्रेडिशनल ग्रोथ क्या रहा है? 10 से 15%. बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है तो 15%, खराब साल है तो 5%, एवरेज 10%.
हाँ, like a bad campaign.
मतलब
One bad campaign will not
it will
massively mess you.
drop your business for
Yeah.
certain time.
Agreed.
इधर क्या होगा? 3 महीने में दुकान ठप.
Yeah. नहीं, but Vishal, so if I'm able to, yeah, वही वाली बात हो जाती है ना. See, performance marketing, like the work we do is essentially a process.
Yeah.
Right? There is a certain way of media buying. There is a certain way of, and both, right? Marketplace, whichever
Yeah.
platform. Principles of media buying remain the same. The only variable is the creative.
Yes.
Okay? Let's all agree to that. Now, unfortunately, in today's day and age,
Creative and product
so
acceptance.
प्रोडक्ट तो चलो मान लेते हैं ना, वो कांस्टेंट है फाउंडर का.
हाँ.
ठीक है. प्रोडक्ट कांस्टेंट है, एजेंसी इकोसिस्टम की बात करता है. सो द डिफरेंशिएशन is essentially media buying is a constant strategy. Creative is the only differentiator. Now, we also know that 100 creators go into testing, 5 win, right?
Yeah.
If I'm directionally convinced that the creatives are getting built in the right direction, my media buying structures are right, and there is enough information available today on the internet for you to kind of understand whether your structure is right or not.
Yeah.
Right? Today, you can download your campaign structure and put it into GPT. It will give you some understanding
Yes.
कि ठीक चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा.
Right.
Right? तो बदल के क्या चेंज आ जाएगा?
अब ये नहीं चल रहा तो कुछ और ट्राई करके देख लेते. होप है ना.
Hope is the strategy here.
हाँ, but that is not the answer. No, the fix is somewhere else, right? As in, so many times, as in, we make this statement to brands where the answer is not in the panel. The answer is outside of the ad panel. तो यहाँ देखना बंद करो. Shopify dashboard को बार बार रिफ्रेश करके कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला.
हाँ.
ठीक है, वो बस चिचिंग की आवाज से खुशी मिलेगी और आंसर नहीं मिलने वाले.
हाँ, तो think of it again, like the founders, a large segment of these founders don't have FMCG marketing backgrounds. Don't have like product research कैसे होती है या क्या करते हैं. How do you start a business, scale a business? So they are coming with their one thought idea and with a certain assumption that consumers will accept this because of XYZ.
Yeah.
So going in with that principle, they are leaning on agencies like us to guide them, where that category experience and all that comes into the picture. तो अब अगर मुझसे बेटर कोई गाइडेंस दे पाता है उसको तो ही विल चेंज.
Fair.
उसको लगता है आपने ट्राई कर लिया, सेंसिबली बोल लिया, आई अंडरस्टैंड बट इट्स नॉट वर्किंग नाउ. 6 महीने हो गए यार. Let me try something else. And there are clients who have come back to us after trying something else. Someone has tried twice.
The second.
So we had 2 breakups. We had 2 breakups. But then we made up. So that will happen. But they are fair to try because they have limited.
So again, okay. So I'll just rephrase this, right? I'm not against trying.
Yeah.
I'm saying the reasons of trying should be if there is inefficiency within the agency team.
Yes.
Right? Definitely.
Yeah.
If you believe the creative output is not great, definitely, right? If the meetings are not in depth, if you don't get the right answer,
Yes.
right? If leadership is not available, all the standard agency problems, please go ahead and try.
Yes.
But my request to founding teams, especially early stage, is instead of probing deeper and evaluating every ad set or every keyword,
Yeah.
spend some time and have a conversation with 15 of your consumers. Na?
Yeah, that's what we say.
Probably the answers will be better. So, should we also start giving them a task list कि आपको ये करना है अगले में?
मैं तो देता हूँ कि आपको मुझसे ये उम्मीदें हैं, ठीक है, मुझे आपसे ये 4 चीजें चाहिए.
Yeah.
Talk to your consumers.
Yeah. And be tangible about it. Like, tell us what this.
अपने वीडियो बनाओ, अपनी स्टोरी सुनाओ कि why do you think this brand is different or unique or why I made it. They should be equally committed to the cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think founders are not able to nail down the problem. In the journey with one agency, if the agency has not been able to help them with this is the area where the problem is, and as you've mentioned, a lot of times the problem is not within the ad, right? it is outside. So if the agency is able to guide the founder, then the founder would be able to introspect problem product mein hai, communication mein hai, ya ad mein hai. A lot of times the answer is not there, and that's why they go window shop, go for another agency, go for the third agency. And in the entire process, if we look back, they would still have not solved the problem.
So Sumit, I'll tell you what, right? Most of the data at best is correlational.
Correct.
There is no causal data at all in the entire digital ecosystem. Okay? CTR कम है, conversion rate ज़्यादा है, ये हमें सब पता है, मतलब यही metrics है, ठीक है? अब वो conversion rate क्यों कम है, उसका आंसर तो कोई नहीं दे पाता, right? At best, you will be able to figure out that okay, my ads are working, I'm getting right traffic, it's not converting. Okay, let's take a simple use case.
Yeah.
Finding one right answer is the problem because you can't, right? At best, so let's build on this example, right? Conversion rate is a problem. What I would recommend doing is, okay, for people who bought, talk to 8-10 of them.
Correct.
You also have some numbers of initiate checkout, right? Talk to 4 or 5 people who came to the website, did not buy, understand why. I don't think you'll get very detailed information, but you'll get some information. From there, build 4 or 5 theses saying this could be the problem, prioritize them.
Correct.
And start testing them one by one. Because एक answer तो नहीं है ना.
So as an agency, if I have to give conviction to a founder, right? I should be able to tell कि if conversion rate is a problem right now, and sticking to this example, people are coming to this page, some what add to cart हो रहा है, time view हो रहा है, इतने scroll हो रहा है, etc. We all have that data, right? I should be in a position to tell him, let's try these 3-4 things on the landing page.
So 3-4 hypotheses.
Yeah, hypothesis. And let's see what works.
Got it.
If that is logically aligned and executed well, you come to an answer. All our 4 hypotheses may be wrong and we arrive at 5th, 6th later.
Yeah.
But at least I should have that sense ki what all possibly can be tried, which probably the founder sees as value addition.
Agreed.
If I keep saying conversion rate नहीं आ रहा, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, then he's likely to leave me.
So agency can't stop at the problem.
Yeah.
Agency at least has to get to the thesis of what could happen.
And this point can be added to the checklist of the founder. What do you look for in an agency?
Absolutely.
If there's a problem, what do you do?
they can't come and say, देख लो भाई अपना website ठीक कर लो, conversion rate कम है.
हाँ, वो बोल आते हैं कई बार हमारे बच्चे भी कि conversion rate है, अब तो आप कुछ करो.
Yeah. Perfect. I think this was interesting. But again, here it's complicated, right? Doesn't these, like all relationships and agency brand relationships is also complicated.
Yeah.
But I think just go with trust. And if you believe that you've got the right partner, try to make it work as much as possible, right? I think that's the way to look at it.
And give chance as you give in a relationship.
And be honest in terms of feedback and be on time.
Yeah, if you're speed dating, then that's not working.
Cool. Sounds good. All right.
Great.
All right. And this is one of the 367 later conversations. We don't know which will get uploaded well. So we're not talking about numbers. But thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe.
Thank you.
Please ask.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Please like, comment, share and subscribe.
तो तुमने मांग लिए.
तुम भी मांगो यार.
अरे तुम्हारी बात सुनते ज्यादा.